I hate him so much. If I saw him, it would be on sight. That and you and your mom. TikTok, you really done me dirty. Welcome back to my channel. So today we have a very fun reading vlog. I've actually already filmed it. I just forgot to do an intro. The idea behind this video is that I'm gonna be reading the books that the TikTok algorithm recommends to me. I am obsessed with TikTok. I'm addicted to it. And something that I find very fascinating is the way that the For You page works, the way that the TikTok algorithm works. It is one of the most hyper-specific social media algorithms I've ever seen, and it's kind of fascinating to me in like a scary way. The ways that the TikTok algorithm knows things about me before I even know them about myself is insane, and I don't want to know how it actually works because I think that would drive me crazy. Obviously, we all know BookTok is a very popular genre of TikTok. When I got my TikTok account, I knew that I wanted TikTok to be my one social media that had no book things. My Twitter is full of book people, my Instagram, book people, my YouTube, book people. I wanted TikTok to be just like separate from all of that. So every time I would get a book talk in my For You page, for like the first year that I had TikTok, I would say not interested. So it took a long time to make my TikTok not entirely book talks. Because obviously that was like the one thing that TikTok knew about me when I was like first getting it. There's a lot of opinions I think that people have about book talk. Negative, positive. I don't really think too much about it just because I don't spend that much time interacting with book talk. However, every once in a while, I will get a book talk that comes up in my For You page. And I've noticed that when I do, on the rare occasions, see book talks in my For You page, they are scarily specific. They are books that are so hyper specific to my taste that it's like TikTok knows, even though I say over and over and over, I'm not interested in book talk, they're like, bitch, this one book you gotta check out. You gotta see this. So I thought it would be a fun experiment to see actually how well the TikTok algorithm knows my taste. So basically in this video, I'm gonna be reading 3 books that came up into my TikTok For You page that the algorithm like really pushed to me. And I'm gonna see how well the TikTok algorithm knows my book reading taste. Okay, I just got a book talk on my For You page and I quickly liked it and closed it so I didn't see it before I turned my camera on. So let me go back. It looked like a romance book. Like I quickly scrolled past it, but it looked like a romance book. So we're gonna see. It also has music playing over it, so I will be muting it. So it says, when you got this book during an Amazon deal because you love Sarah Kate's writing, only to find out it's a love triangle between a father and son.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
What? Hold on. Okay, I actually just read a book by Sarah Kate and it was praise and I loved it. It was an ex-boyfriend's dad trope, which you guys know is like one of my favorites. Okay, the book is called Gravity. I've never heard of this. I feel like Sarah Kate all of a sudden just like popped up. I'd never heard of her before. So Gravity by Sarah Kate. A love triangle with a dad and his son? So clearly the TikTok algorithm knows that I like the boyfriend dad trope. So they were like, boyfriend's dad? We raise you, boyfriend and dad. Okay, sold. I am so excited to read this. Let me see if it has an audiobook. Okay, it has an audiobook. So I will definitely be getting that. And I will come back and check in when I get the next book talk in my For You page. I was just about to take off my makeup, but I opened up TikTok. And you guys, when I tell you that I think I'm being watched, I'm like about to delete my TikTok. The way that this could not be a coincidence, literally yesterday, I saw an Instagram post on my like Explore page. Not even somebody that I followed, it was on my Explore page. And it had a book in it that looked very interesting to me. I'd never heard of, never seen it before. And I was like, wow, this looks like the exact kind of book I want to read. So I immediately went onto Amazon and I bought the book. It is currently en route to me. I just opened up TikTok. The very first TikTok that showed up is this.
Oh, this is cute. Oh.
This is the book that I just bought because it was on my Instagram Explore page because Instagram thought I would be interested in this book. I'm unwell. This makes me so upset. As somebody who is like fearful of technology knowing too much about me, I don't like this. So yeah, this book is called Slewfoot and it sounds amazing. And like I said, I just bought it. It is in the process of being delivered to me. It is a horror book set in like a puritanical village about this girl whose husband dies, so she's now a widow, and people in the town really ostracize her and don't treat her well. And then there is this like demonic, devilish creature called Slewfoot, who I think is going to help her get revenge on these horrible townsfolk. It sounds amazing. I'm really glad I'm gonna be reading it in this video because I wanted to read it right away anyways, but I'm unhappy with how much TikTok knows about me. Why do they know that I literally just bought this yesterday? I don't like it one bit. Okay, it's 3 a.m. Yes, I still have my makeup on. What about it? But I just came across a TikTok, a booktok in my For You page. So here, let's watch it together. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna have to mute it. I think it's copyrighted music. So it is the Atlas 6. I did not realize the Atlas 6 was illustrated. This artwork is so cute. Secrets, betrayal, seduction, power. Welcome to the Alexandrian Society. Yeah, so I've obviously heard of this book because it, oop, hold on, we need my phone light still. Is this good lighting? I've obviously heard of this because it's very popular on TikTok, but I didn't really have like the strongest desire to read it. But I don't know, that TikTok kind of interested me because the artwork looked really cool. So I guess I will be reading that. All right, so all of the books have now come in, and I kind of just wanted to talk about what I think of the recommendations and if I think TikTok did a good job at picking books that I would probably pick for myself. Because regardless of what I end up thinking of these books, the experiment part of this video for me was to see how well the algorithm can choose books specifically tailored to me. So for anyone who is unfamiliar with my reading preference, I basically have 3 main genres that I like to read. Number 1 is romance, and my favorite romance subgenre is the ex-boyfriend's dad trope, or honestly anybody's dad. I like a dad. The second genre that I really love is horror, and within the horror genre, I really like horror that blends another genre, whether it's fantasy, sci-fi, historical. And then the third genre that I love is fantasy, but specifically low fantasy or low stakes fantasy. I don't really love like high fantasy about like war and politics and all this stuff. So going based off of that, TikTok fucking nailed it, okay? Because each of these fits into those 3 categories that I just mentioned. So I feel like the algorithm's ability to recommend books specifically for me is spot on. I'm excited now. I'm gonna spend the next couple of weeks reading these books and we're gonna see if I actually end up liking them. But as far as them being recommendations for me, I think they're all successes. So, I wanted to update you guys with how I'm doing with the Atlas 6. I am now 142 pages into it. So like, I'm a good way into this and I'm really enjoying it. I think that the world and the magic system is very interesting. I will say that the world building is a little bit confusing, a little bit wordy, but like, I don't necessarily know if that's in a bad way. There's just a couple times when like I have to pause the audiobook and like rewind it a little bit and then like listen again to what's being explained because it's wordy when like descriptions of the magic and the world and stuff is going on. I think that this happens with all like multi-POV books, and the more point of views there are, the more this happens, where I don't love all the characters. So I have some point of view characters where I'm like obsessed and so excited when I get to one of their chapters. But then I have other characters where I am, when I get to their chapter, I want to put the book down. So there's 6 point of view characters, the Atlas 6, and I like 3 of them. So like a good 50%, that's good, right? I'm basically all in on Libby and Nico. I'm all in. The way I'm all in, and I am literally living off of crumbs. I'm living off of crumbs of them. I don't even know, like, I don't know anything about this book in terms of like what I've heard about it. So I don't know what the ships are. I'm gonna assume there's like a spinning wheel of ships, like so many ships. with like different dynamics. But I'm cashing in my chips. I'm all in on Libby and Nico. What would their ship name be? Nibby? Lico? No. What are their last names? Verona and Rhodes. Vodes? Rona? Anyways, I'm all in on them. I think I've come to realize that one of my favorite rivalry, like rivals to lovers tropes are academic rivals. Because like the way that when you have an academic rival or like somebody that you're actively competing with who is on your level, like they are this like as smart as you, as talented as you, whatever, you're like neck and neck. I feel like there's this level of intimacy because you have to be obsessed with that person in order to compete with them. You have to know their strengths and their weaknesses and like little things that nobody else would notice. And that is what Libby and Nico are. They are rivals. They've been academic rivals for years. Now they're competing in this. And like the way that they describe all these like little nuances that they notice about each other, kill me. Just kill me. Not even that, but my favorite part is when you see them in the background of the other characters' points of views. Every other character comments on how they just see the two of them off in the corner like talking. When I said I'm living off of crumbs, that is what I mean. Like I just want to see them in the background of other characters' chapters. So that's where I'm at right now. The other character that I really love, I said I liked 3 of them. The other character that I really love is Parisia. I'm about to expose myself here, but I relate the most to Parisia, especially like the way that how she views people and how she thinks about people. I don't actually know if I want to say that because she's not a good person. She's like a really terrible person, but like, we love that about her. And yeah, like there's not a lot of plot going on. It's really like just like strong characters. So I don't know, I'm really enjoying this. I also appreciate that all of the chapters are like not too lengthy, so they go by very quickly. And the audiobook is amazing. It's full cast and they're all like top-notch narrators. So I'm gonna keep reading this tonight. So I finished the Atlas 6 and I have like conflicting feelings about it. I did enjoy it, or parts of it I really enjoyed. I think I would have liked this more had Libby and Nico been the main characters and the only POV characters, and then everyone else was just like side characters, because I felt like for me they were the strongest point of views and the only ones that like I really cared about. And so that made it kind of a slower read, because every time I would get to a different character's point of view, I just would lose interest. So because of that, I mean, there's 6 point of views and I basically only cared about 2 of them. Because of that, I feel like I can't give it higher than 3 stars, even though like I liked it to an extent and I'm still excited to read the next book because I need to know what happens with Libby and Nico. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have like strong feelings about this. It was good. It was fine. I'm not obsessed with it. It's not my new favorite thing, but I can see why a lot of people like this, and I can see why TikTok recommended this to me. I'm not mad that I read it. I'm just kind of neutral about it. But next I will be starting Gravity by Sarah Kate, which I have higher hopes for, solely because I've already loved books by Sarah Kate. We all know I'm a hoe for the boyfriend's dad trope, so I have high expectations for this. This is 2 stars. I'm debating 1 star. Let me just tell you guys about the wild bonkers plot that this has. So basically, in the prologue, the main character's twin sister and her sister's boyfriend die in a plane crash. Then we flash forward like a year and she's now a stripper. She quit her ballet career and she's now a stripper. And she's at work dancing and she sees in the audience her sister's boyfriend's brother, who she always had a crush on. And he's like, I need you, I want you now. And they have sex. Very like, it's borderline non-consensual. He's very aggressive. Then the next day, that guy's dad shows up at her strip club and offers to pay her $1 million if she will come and spend 3 months with the 2 of them on their private island. They're billionaires, so of course they have a private island. He'll pay her $1 million if she comes and stays with them for 3 months on the private island and dates his son. Because his son, for the past year since the brother died, has been just like off the rails, and he thinks that the main character is the only one who's gonna like help him emotionally. First of all, this boy needs therapy. What are you doing? Like, therapy definitely costs less than $1 million. So like already the premise was like dumb. So she goes, and obviously while she's there, she's like having all this really aggressive sex with the son, but then she also has chemistry with the dad. So she's kind of like bouncing back and forth between both of them. Listen, the first bit of it, I was like, okay, this is crazy, this is messy, but like I'm kind of here for it. But then it crossed over into gross and borderline incest territory when the dad and the son agree to share the girl. Like, okay, gross, but okay. But then they have sex with her at the same time. Father and son having sex with her at the same time. They literally Eiffel Tower her. Like, so gross. It was so gross. I could not believe what I was reading. And then the next day they wanted to pretend like it didn't happen. I'm like, how do you come back from that? I don't understand. So many ridiculous things happened in this book. And there was another scene that like was supposed to be sexy, but was not. Basically, the dad says that the main character needs to learn how to fly a plane, which like, why? Her twin sister died in a plane crash and you're insisting she learns how to fly a plane? For what? So the first time he takes her up in a plane and she takes over the controls, he starts fingering her. And I like, the whole time during that scene, all I kept thinking about was like, this is so dangerous. She's gonna crash the plane and die all because he couldn't keep his hands to himself while she's flying a plane for the first time in her life. What? I swear, both of these men just needed therapy. It would have cost them less money and less emotional damage because they wouldn't have had to have sex in the same room together at the same time. I also just didn't even understand why both of these men wanted her or were like in love with her. It didn't make sense to me. She had like no personality, but they were head over heels for her. Like, I need to know what perfume she was wearing, if it was some kind of like pheromone thing to make these two like billionaire men just like feral at the thought of her. I feel like as I'm talking about this, I'm convincing myself to give it 1 star because I have nothing good to say about it. I really don't, which is sad because the other books that I've read from Sarah Kate, I've given 5 stars. I will say she does end up picking one, thank God. And the second book follows the guy that she doesn't pick. But I have absolutely no interest in reading that. I don't care about any of them, but especially I don't care about him. Yeah, this was just bad. I'm so sad because you guys know how much I love this trope, but this was it done in the worst way. I feel like I wouldn't be so harsh about this if they didn't have that sex scene where they had sex basically with each other. I'm sorry, but like, how was that not incest? Like, I know they didn't touch each other, but they were both inside the same girl at the same time. Jail! All these characters belong in jail. TikTok, you really done me dirty. Okay, so I'm like halfway into Slewfoot. I've been reading it for a while, not because it's bad, it's just loving it so much. Does this ever happen to you guys where like you're enjoying a book so much, you don't want to keep reading it because you don't want it to end? Like, you just want to prolong the experience as long as possible. That's what I'm feeling with this. But basically what this book is about, we're following this woman named Abatha who lives in like outskirts of this Puritan village, and for multiple reasons everyone in the village like really ostracizes her. 1, because she has red hair and they think that's like demonic, and 2, she's just doesn't act the way that they expect or think women should act. And at the beginning of the book, her husband dies and she is the only person left to run their corn farm, and her brother-in-law is a fucking snake and he is trying to steal the farm from Abatha. He's so relentless about it. I hate him so much. If I saw him, it would be on sight. I would defend Abatha to my death. So he's the worst, and because Abatha is like a boss bitch and super smart, she is able to keep the farm, and that pisses him off so much that he's now trying to brand her as a witch and get her executed. So this also takes place around like the big like witch hysteria. One day, Abatha comes across this creature who is like human, goat, looks like the devil, might be the devil. He has a very special connection with Abatha. He feels a connection with her, and he now wants to help her with anything she wants and help her keep her farm and get revenge on all of these horrible people who are after her. I just have to show you guys, the artwork in this book is absolutely beautiful. The author, Brahm, is also an illustrator, and his artwork is just like one of my favorites. I mean, this cover is stunning on its own. But yeah, I'm really loving this. It has so many aspects of horror that I really, really like. And what it really reminds me of is one of my favorite movies, and that is The Witch, which has a very similar premise about this Puritan family who is exiled, and they live on the edge of this forest. The daughter of the family, who is played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who's one of my favorite actresses, comes into contact with Black Phillip, aka the devil. And if you've ever seen that movie and you know the "wouldst thou like to live deliciously" scene, this book is basically that whole scene. If you take that scene and you turn it into an entire book, that's what this is. And I love it so much. I would be shocked if this doesn't end up being 5 stars. I am really curious to see how the second half is gonna play out, because right now I'm pissed at everyone and I need Abatha and Samson to just like kill everybody. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay, last night I finished Slewfoot, and I feel like you can already tell this is a 5-star book for me. I love this. This had everything that I love in horror. But let me just tell you, the last 30 pages of this book is one of the most satisfying endings I've ever read in my whole life. I was listening to it on audio, and normally when I listen to audiobooks, I play a game on my phone, but like I had to put it down, and I just like sat there and listened with a smile on my face like a psycho. I also would say that I really do recommend the audiobook. The narrators did a fantastic job, and there's actually a part in this book where Abatha sings a song, and in the audiobook the narrator actually sings it, and it's really cool to like hear the song and like how it would actually sound. I 100% would recommend this for people who liked The Year of the Witching, or even if you didn't like The Year of the Witching and there was like something lacking for you, I feel like this could be what was missing. Also, if you liked the movie The Witch, this had all the same vibes. Abatha is probably my new favorite main character. She's definitely in my top 5 all-time favorite characters. I loved her so much, her journey, her development. And I realized that a lot of my favorite movies follow characters who have a similar journey to her, where it's just like a woman who is done taking people's shit, and she's like, you know what, fuck that, and fuck you, and fuck your mom, and then she just takes whatever she wants. Abatha is a queen. So there we have it, the 3 books that I read in this video that TikTok recommended me. Kind of wrapping up my thoughts, this is a new all-time favorite book, and what I find so funny about it is that not 1, but 2 social media algorithms recommended this book to me. Both TikTok and Instagram really thought that I needed to read this, and they were correct. This is probably going to be one of my favorite books of the whole year. Definitely a new favorite horror. The Atlas 6 and Gravity, I think on paper, they both sound like my kind of books. I typically do really enjoy dark academia and like ritualistic magic, kind of like low fantasy stories. So this definitely seemed like something that I would enjoy, and there were a lot of things that I liked in here. It's not a new favorite, but I completely understand this recommendation. Same with Gravity. On paper, this is something that I should have really loved. The tropes are all ones that I love. I already love Sarah Kate. I've actually read a couple more books from her since doing this experiment, and I've loved all of them. This is the only one that I haven't liked so far. So on paper, this was a good recommendation. I think just the execution wasn't there for me, but I definitely feel like this was successful, even though I kind of had mixed feelings about all of the books. But in terms of like the actual question, can TikTok recommend books to my taste? I think the answer is yes. All of these books really do fit in line with what I like to read. So I definitely think going forward, I am going to be paying a little bit closer attention to the book talks that I see in my For You page and really giving them a shot. Actually, since finishing this, I have seen so many more book talks coming up in my For You page that look amazing. So let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a part 2 for this eventually. And I would love to know what your experience is with book talk. Have you been able to find good recommendations from TikTok, or have they not really worked out for you? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!